Ladies and gentlemen, my next guest is someone I'm really excited to have on. I have been following him for going on about 7 years now. Got me back into playing Madden. One of the biggest streamers for sports games. We're talking Madden, 2K, the show. You've probably seen his videos on YouTube. I'm talking with Toke Nasty right now. One of the coolest, most hype YouTubers you can find. Streamers, Toke, man, I appreciate you having you on the show. I'm a big fan. I'm so glad we get to talk some ball today.
Hey man, thanks for having me. Super excited, dude.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, Toke got, I'd say like Madden really kind of brought you out. You started doing Ultimate Team videos, pack openings, and then you got into 2K. You started doing the show. You even did some NCAA football for a little bit, which I love. Man, what kind of got you going with the whole streaming and YouTubing? Like what was like, hey, I think I want to do this for a living?
I was always a gamer, like a competitive gamer. I played, competitive Madden way before I ever got into doing YouTube. And honestly, I was playing Call of Duty money games like every night till like 4 a.m. with one of my buddies, and we would play like 2v2 for $50 or $100 a best of 3, and then Madden came out, and it was like Ultimate Team started coming out, and I got into that. And I swear to God, I might be the only one. I didn't even really ever even know what YouTube was. Like I was just so busy with life and like just being a 20-year-old degenerate. I was like, started getting into Madden, and I was already playing Call of Duty competitively for money. And I was like, well, I'll just play someone in Madden for money as well. And I started doing that. And honestly, I beat one kid and he disputed it for like $100. And I had to upload proof that I won. And they wanted me to upload the proof to YouTube. And I was like, what the hell is YouTube? So I uploaded it because typically in Call of Duty, the guy I played with did all that himself. So I had to upload it. And then I started like seeing Madden stuff, and I started watching that. And I was like, realistically, I was like, man, these guys all stink. And I was like, the videos were really boring, and nobody, like, it was all like nothing was live. It was all like post commentary, no face cam, just blah blah blah. And I don't know. I just looked at my wife now, but my girlfriend at the time, and I was like, I think I can do this and do it better than them. And I don't know. I can call it cocky or whatever you want, but so I did, and I made a video, and I put my face. I did everything live with no script, no nothing, just live reactions, just like kind of how it was with Call of Duty, And then I don't know, I made one video and it got like 4,000 views, and I was like, all right, well, I'll make another one, and then I made another one, and then I made another one, and that was basically all I wrote, And I was like, I was already having fun playing games, and I went into Madden being competitive, like, and then the Madden tournament started coming out and stuff like that. And I started realizing, I was like, I can make money off playing Madden, whether I win or lose. Like, it doesn't matter, so I just kind of went with it, and the rest was history, I guess.
Well, to be fair, man, I watched a lot of your videos. I didn't see a lot of L's taken. So
I take more L's now than ever, man. Now I'm just like, trying to get a highlight, trying to get this, trying to get that, and I think honestly this year I'm going to go back to like the way I used to play, where like I just want to win,
Okay.
And for like 2 or 3 years, it didn't really matter to me, but now I just,
yeah. And you've gotten really big on the show. So and it's funny because I stopped playing Madden after college. I just kind of got out of it, and then I can't remember what it was, and then I stumbled upon one of your videos, and I remember the video exactly. You were playing this kid, and he had this audio, and it was this kid couldn't have been like more than like 10 years old, and it's just like, ooh, the honey badger. You got to pick that up.
The greatest video of all time.
Oh my God. It's to this day. It still makes me laugh.
I think now, I wonder because that kid's got to be like 23 years old now. I wonder, like, I wish I could just run into that kid. Like, I always wonder what that kid's doing now. I mean,
I
that was insane. And like, I wasn't even recording. I just happened to jump into a game and there was a 13-year-old kid. And I mean, he made the video. I mean, I think that video's got 1 million views. It just always gets views. He was something else, I'll tell you that much. And that's when I was really good at the game. I was just toying with him, messing with him, trying to get every reaction I could.
Oh, it's so good. I'll post it in the comment section for people to see. It's I don't know how I stumbled upon it, but it's like anytime I need a laugh, and it's like it's one of my like favorite videos. So like anytime I need a laugh, I'll go watch it. It's because it's the funniest thing, and I'm a big Saints guy. So like now the fact that like Tyrann Mathieu on the Saints, it just makes it so much better for me. But before we start talking some ball, I wanted to ask you because Madden comes out next week, and I dabble in Ultimate Team. I don't do like what you do, and I have a lot of respect for what you do, especially with like the pack openings because it's so interesting. It's like it's insane that like these digital trading cards have kind of taken over what used to just be a normal football game. But a lot of people are kind of blaming Ultimate Team for the way Madden has been treated the last couple of years as far as like gameplay goes, franchise, online head to head. With that being said, man, do you think Ultimate Team is good for Madden? Like, do you think it's good for like the future of it? Because it just seems like it's not really about Madden anymore. It's more about Ultimate Team, and that's kind of like what I do now. Like I'll go on, I'll play I'll play Ultimate Team. I'm a free to play kind of guy. I like kind of like grinding. But like, do you think Ultimate Team has been good for Madden?
I don't think Ultimate Team's going to go anywhere. And no, not necessarily. No, I mean the old ones, yeah, the old Ultimate Teams were amazing. It changed video games forever. Building a basically taking a dynasty and building the Ultimate Team and playing online. But now it's like, I mean, look at these fucking companies. Excuse me, but like they're all. I mean, they're making billions of dollars off trading cards, and there's all these laws and limits to it. Like if you go to Target, right, and you buy a pack of cards, let's say you find a pack of cards on Target, like you spent your hard-earned money, you bought that pack of cards. Let's say you pull in reference to Ultimate Team, like a limited time, super expensive card. Well, I mean, so if you pull it from Target out of a pack, like you could keep it, you could grade it, you could put it on eBay, you could trade it, you could make money off that. Let's say that $4 pack of cards now is worth $10,000 and you just made $10,000. But on Ultimate Team, like it's like a stock market that always goes down. Like it never goes up ever. And I can't, like, out of all the companies, like I can't stand EA. I hate EA. I literally after Christmas time and mostly the last 2 or 3 years, like I don't really open that many packs anymore. Like I would rather take a $50 bill and light it on fire on a firework and send it to the moon than open up packs on packs on packs to get. I don't know, dude. I feel like I'm paying the freaking devil. Like, and I think about it. I look at it like other brands, like San Diego Studios, who makes MLB. Like, you can play that game in a dynasty mode, in an Ultimate Team mode, and not spend a single dollar, and you can have the best team possible. Right? Mm-hmm. They give you every opportunity, and then also on top of that, every couple weeks, if you are someone that's spending money or you were considered a whale player, you can buy that stuff half off. Like the game's hot right now. It's All-Star weekend, like, and they have stuff half off. NBA, same aspect. Like you can, whether you think the game's good or not, at least the company is allowing people to get these Black Friday deals or this deal or that deal to, if you do want to spend money, hey, here, we're giving back to you. Where EA will take you every cent you have and they don't care, and they'll never make discounts and this and that. And I think last year's Madden was the earliest I ever quit playing. Like I was just fed up with it. I was just, and in the back of my head, and for me saying that, like every time I open a pack, it's a tax write-off. Like I'm getting the money back because it's a business. And I still hate doing it because I just think I don't know, dude. Something about EA, it'll never change. I think they're the most scummiest company in the world. And unfortunately, as a football fan, if you want to play football, you have to play it through EA Sports. And they've gotten a lot of franchise hits and going back to playing online and stuff like that. Like before I started YouTube or anything like that, like I used to love playing NCAA and I would
Oh
play
yeah.
online ranked. Like that was my thing. Like I would find so many teams in, Northwestern or Texas A&M back in the day or Army, Navy, and I would play those online. And I mean, that's how you grew up playing video games. Unfortunately, now I don't see it ever going away. Like, there's no way. Like EA's made billions of dollars, and every other company is following suit. And I mean, it's even gotten to the point where, Call of Duty's got virtual currency pack openings for, visual aspects of the game. Apex comes in free to play game. What happens? There's loot boxes everywhere. Fortnite, everyone loves Fortnite, but what do they love more than Fortnite? They love that every skin imaginable, like if Spider-Man, Batman, X-Man,
Yeah.
LeBron James. Like my kids play Fortnite. Like I got on Fortnite the other day. There was LeBron James as my character. Like everything is, and you can say that's a loot box or it's not necessarily pay to win, but like it's not anymore of the days of going to GameStop at midnight, waiting in line for 2 hours, buying a $60 game and playing that game until the next one comes out. Like it is constant run it down your throat type thing. Like you can't even sign on Madden and get to the main screen until it's like, hey, give us $100 and we'll give you this.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I just like I just pre-ordered because the only reason I did that was because every time I logged in, it was like, "Hey, get 10% off before that." I'm like, "Well, damn, I guess it's 10% off, so I guess I should do it." My biggest worry and you like just sent me down like memory lane like waiting till midnight to get the new NCAA game in college cuz my junior year was the last year that they released NCAA, and it was a big thing that we played uh, all the time, like in the fraternity house. Like we would live, breathe, and die by NCAA. I don't think I ever picked up Madden again until it came out. My worry is that now that it's official that NCAA is coming out next year, my worry is that now that Ultimate Team is so big, they're gonna cram Ultimate Team in our face for the new NCAA game. That's my biggest fear.
Hopefully they have an online dynasty. If they have that, I think it'll be all right. And some type of superstar mode to where you can be a college player. But yeah, they're gonna. I mean, I put every dollar I have on it. That Ultimate Team will be the main focus of it. It's guaranteed. Unfortunately, like that's just the way. It's the way it's going to be. Like I coach flag football and tackle football and all this stuff, and I got a guy that's been helping me for years. One of my son's best friends, and he called me up. He's an old head. He doesn't understand shit, and he's like, I bought my son Madden. He's like, but he keeps coming up to me and saying, "Daddy, I can't play. I'm losing because he's a 69 overall, and everyone's got all these good teams, and he needs coins."
Mm.
And he's like, "What does that mean?" And I'm like, "You just entered into the rabbit hole, my friend."
Oh,
And he's like, "All my son wants for Christmas is PlayStation cards and this and that." And I'm like, "Bro, tell him he's not allowed to play that game because this is what it's going to be." And the worst part is this kid's 8 years old. His dad's going to give him $100 to open up packs because he's a 68 overall. His dad's probably thinking, "Hey, here's $100. The game costs 60.
yeah.
This should get you good, buddy." And then he comes back 5 minutes later, lit that $100 on a fireworks and goes, "I did not get anything." Well,
Oh,
welcome to the casino of Ultimate Team. You know
I
what
know.
I'm saying? And then, even if he sells everything, he might get a fraction of the value back with a chance to be great. But then if he quits the game and he's like, "Screw this, I just got screwed," and comes back 2 months later because his favorite player scored 6 touchdowns and he wants to get back on Ultimate Team again. And daddy says, "No, you can't have $100 this time." So now he's like, "All right, let me sell the cards I pulled." It's just like I mentioned earlier of the stock market. That thing that was worth $1 before is now worth 4 cents. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And it's just sitting there. It's a disaster. I mean, it's a disaster for the consumer. It's fun. It's engaging.
Yeah.
But it's these Ultimate Team game modes are legitimately, besides the face of the card, it's just a rinse and repeat type thing, like every year. And it's a sucker to the genre of sports gaming, because there's so many sports gamers. Like you can't do anything. And like, what are they supposed to do? You know, like Call of Duty comes out every year. There's new guns, there's new genres, there's new maps, there's new that. Like, there's no new map in Madden and MLB and NBA. Like, the rules are still the same. There's 4 quarters, there's first downs. Like, they, you know, and I see people complain all the time. They're like, oh, this is the same game, which in aspect it probably very close is, but like, what are they really supposed to do? And, them making new games are supposed to be innovating all these new things to keep people in. But, when people are just dropping thousands and thousands of dollars, and some people are like, oh, it's the YouTubers or the streamers' faults. It's really not. It's, it's everyone's fault. And it is what it is. It's kind of, it's what it's going to be for the rest of time, until something happens where they classify this as actual gambling to for everyone, people under the age of 18 or 21 years old. Then nothing will ever change, And
yeah, no, that's a really good point. I never thought of it that way.
I'd rather take $100 than a bundle and make a 25 team NFL parlay that pays out 10 million and it's dead in 4 minutes. Like, I'm okay with that.
Oh man, could you imagine if that hit though? That would be like you never have to work. Well, speaking of that, man, let's get in some ball. Let's
get into it, boys. NFL's coming.
I'm excited, man. I'm gonna watch the Saints preseason game today. You're a big Raiders guy. I'm high on the Raiders this year. My boy Josh Jacobs and Kenyon Drake from the University of Alabama are gonna light it up this year. Look, man, I'm just gonna get into it, man.
Get away.
Who should I bet on this year? Like who should I put money on this year? Like, I'm high on the Raiders, I'm high on the Bills, I'm high on the Saints. Like, tell me where to spend my money.
I think the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl. I realistically can't see, looking at the schedule. I think the Bills lose 3 games.
Wow.
Maybe. And I'm including, I think the Chiefs get them again, and it's set up to where the Bills face the Chiefs again. And that's going to be contradicting to what I if we start talking about the AFC West. But I think the Bills are the best team in the NFL. There's no doubt about it. I think they win that division with ease. I think the Raiders make the playoffs plus $1.40. I think the Broncos are the most overrated team ever. And
really,
I do. I like, listen, I tell my stream all the time, like, Russell Wilson is not the Russell Wilson of 5 years ago. I don't care what anyone says. Jerry Jeudy, you already mentioned you're an Alabama guy. You know what? He could catch 1 touchdown this year and he'll double what he had last year. Cortland Sutton, like, okay, whatever. I don't think the Broncos are going to be good. I don't think the Chiefs make the playoffs. And I think that the AFC West is going to be between the Raiders and the Chargers.
Okay, I like that. I you know what's funny, man, is that, like, I want to like the Chargers. I really do. And I think Justin Herbert is a young, talented kid. I love Austin Eckler, especially in fantasy. Keenan Allen's great. Mike Williams is. Defensively, they're awesome. And now I've heard they're trying to get Roquan Smith from the Bears. If they got that would just be insane. But it's just something about this team. Like, they just can't seem to put it together. Like, it's insane. Like, how many times they should be an 11, 12 win team. And every year I'm looking at the schedule, like, they're winning 8, 9 games. But the Raiders I'm high on. I think I love Darren Waller. Derek Carr has just, like, went from, I don't know if he's going to be an NFL guy, to, like, hey, had a huge resurgence here. Devontae Adams is there. Big contract here for Josh Jacobs. Like, realistically, do you think the Raiders this year, can you see them fighting, getting to an AFC championship? Are they this year's, I don't know. I don't want to call them this year's Cincinnati, because Cincinnati kind of came out of nowhere, but, like, can they be like this year's Buffalo, where it's like, hey, like, we have arrived. We are here.
I think so. I mean, look, Bengals went to the Super Bowl. Raiders took the Bengals down to the 9-yard line with 32 seconds left, a touchdown to beat the Bengals in the wild card game. And unfortunately, they didn't get it done. And then that's after losing Henry Ruggs, losing John Gruden, losing all these people. and they still, nobody had them beating the Chargers. They were a 5-point underdog to the Chargers that final game of Week 17. And what happened? The Raiders won. It's the wild, wild west. Listen, if we talking betting money or whatever, like just bet the over in every AFC West matchup, and you will be a rich man come Christmas time. Like, you got Max Crosby, who just got paid. You bring in Chandler Jones, who's a little bit of a veteran. I mean, yeah, the Raiders secondary is suspect, but I mean, people clown. Derek Carr is the most disrespected good quarterback in the NFL, and I'm not saying he's the number one quarterback. And it's apples and oranges saying if he's top 10, and I said this last year before the Super Bowl, halfway through the season. Matthew Stafford, Derek Carr are the same quarterbacks. If Derek Carr was traded to the Rams last year and did exactly what Matthew Stafford did, the Rams most likely still win the Super Bowl, in my opinion. Like, there's really no difference. It's not, and I think the Raiders go 12-5. I really do. I think the Raiders go 12-5. I think the Chargers potentially go 12-5, 11-6. And that might be a little bit of a homer pick. The Raiders offense, like, who's stopping them? Like, who's stopping Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Josh Jacobs, Kenyon Drake, Zeus, Darren Waller, Foster Monroe? Like, that offense, they might give up 35 points a game.
They'll be
they're going to score 35 points a game. You know, Derek Carr was the number one passing yard leader through 13 weeks last year, finished number 5, They're going to throw the ball, and I think Josh McDaniels coming in with, being considered one of the best offensive guys in football. I think he learned his lessons from the Denver Broncos that you can't leave Bill Belichick and try to be Bill Belichick 2.0. Like, it just doesn't work that way. So I think this year, and if it's not this year, it's next year. Like, they're going to lock up Darren Waller for a couple more years. They got Hunter Renfrow for 3 more years. They're probably going to let Josh Jacobs walk. They got Devontae Adams for 3 more years, and they got Derek Carr for 3 more years. Like, the Chargers got to win now. If the Chargers don't win in the next 2 years, guess what? They're going to give Justin Herbert like $55 million a year. And what is that going to do? There's going to be no more, like, you're going to have to pay Derwin James. You're going to have to pay Joey Bosa. You want Khalil Mack to stay? You want JC Jackson to stay? You just can't do it. It's physically impossible. Yeah. Like, when Herbert gets re-signed, he will be the highest paid quarterback the NFL has ever seen. He will shit all over Deshaun Watson's contract. He'll be higher paid than Patrick Mahomes. He'll be higher paid than Josh Allen. Like, he's going to get paid. Like, there's
him and Burrow. Yeah.
He could be the MVP of the year. Like, there's no doubt about it. Like, so I'm high on the Raiders. I am every year. They always exceed the expectation of Vegas. Like, I mean, Vegas always low balls them on wins. They always do this. They always do that. Vegas hits the win total every year. This year it's 8.5. Oh, it's like,
wow.
The disrespect, taking the over. It's insane. So, I mean, everyone's high on Denver. Like, I don't know, bro. I can't see it. I refuse to see it.
Yeah. It's tough. Like, Denver is the sexy pick this year. And I think what it is just like the last 2 years, a big name quarterback has gone to a young, like, on the rise team, like the Tampa with Brady. And look, me and you are on the same page. I can't stand Tom Brady, and I know you can't either. And Matthew Stafford with the Rams, and I completely agree. Like, if Derek Carr or anybody, I would say, like, in that tier 2 echelon of quarterbacks would have gone to the Rams, like, that team was ready to win. They would have won the Super Bowl. But Denver, man, it's like, I want to buy in because, like, I'm a big Russell Wilson guy, but you're right. It's not the Russell Wilson of, like, the Legion of Boom days, or even like even a couple years ago. And it's like, and you're right, like, Jerry Jeudy is kind of like their only guy. Like, I defensively, they have some weapons, but
does that chemistry come in week 1 and
I don't know.
I don't think it does. I really don't. I mean, they got a great defense.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, when this is the AFC West is the greatest division I think the NFL's ever seen. Like,
oh, I agree.
I'll argue all day that there's 4 top 10 quarterbacks in that division, So,
oh yeah.
I I don't know, man. Like, I think all the quarterbacks, like maybe not Russell Wilson, and maybe Russell Wilson, because I just don't see the Broncos winning more than 9 games. I just don't see it. They could have a great defense, but they're gonna have to score, bro. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
You could say Denver's the greatest defense in the world. They're still going to have to score 32 points. This is not the Steelers versus the Browns of 3 years ago, and it's on Monday Night Football, and it's 9-7 going into the fourth quarter, and you're praying that this guy makes a field goal to win 10-9. Like,
Yeah.
these games are going to be 14-7 with 11 minutes left in the second quarter. These quarterbacks are going to go crazy. I think, and I mean, and back to the Chiefs, and I know people get mad at me for saying this, but I think that the Chiefs are going to regret tremendously getting rid of Tyreek Hill. I'm
Couldn't
not
agree
saying
more.
that Patrick Mahomes is a bum at all. Like, I have Patrick Mahomes as my number 2 quarterback in the NFL behind Josh Allen. On my number 3 quarterback, if we're going off like a fantasy value, I would put Justin Herbert at 3. Those are 2 quarterbacks in the AFC West alone. But I don't know, man. I just think the Chiefs got rid of Tyrann Mathieu, right?
Mhm.
One of the best players on their defense. They got rid of Tyreek Hill. They replaced them with Juju Smith-Schuster, who potentially could be amazing. They got Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who couldn't catch a beach ball with sticky glue on his hands. Travis Kelce is going to be doubled every single play.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
he's going to be doubled every play. How many times has Mahomes did something that Patrick Mahomes is famous to do and then find Tyreek Hill to bail him out? There's no more of that. Like, that's gone
Yeah.
now. Their defense regressed. Their offense regressed. I just don't think. I think that if you turn on the TV between whatever week it starts, right, whether it's week 4 or week 6, and the Chiefs start slumping, and they probably will. They might lose 3 or 4 in a row, and then all you see on TV is Patrick Mahomes this or Patrick Mahomes that, is Tyreek Hill this. And God forbid if Tyreek Hill goes absolutely ham with Tua.
I think he
Like,
will. Yeah.
I do
Him and
too. And
Waddle.
Jalen
Yeah.
Waddle is a 100-catch guy. Like, I just think that the Chiefs, every team in the AFC West got better. Raiders got Devontae Adams. They got Chandler Jones. They re-signed Max Crosby and Hunter Renfrow. The Broncos, they got Russell Wilson, who, you can either be on my side and say he's meh, or you can be on the other side and be like, oh my God, the Broncos just got Russell Wilson. The Chargers, they got Khalil Mack. They got JC Jackson. Like, and they have Justin Herbert on a rookie contract. Like, they got better too. The only team that didn't get better is the Chiefs that everyone's slurping. Like,
Yeah.
I don't see it. I don't know. Maybe
I think it's Andy Reid's last year.
the AFC, there's 13 teams in the AFC that can win a Super Bowl. There's 4 in the NFC that can win. Like, there's a chance, and I'm high on the Eagles. Let's say the Cowboys win the division. The Eagles could clearly, or even the Saints could have a 9-win season. They could go 9-8 or 9 and whatever and get in a wild card. Like, you got to win. You're going to have to win 11 games to get in the AFC.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Like, it's insane how many great teams are in the AFC. And like I said, like when we touched on Miami, like, I'm big on Tua this year. I think Tua is he's finally got the help around him. He's got an offensive line. You got Armstead from the Saints. I think Mike Gesicki is probably the most underrated tight end in football. Like, if you're a fantasy guy, like, Mike Gesicki is going to go off this year. Jalen Waddle is, I think, the closest thing to Tyreek Hill that you can get in the NFL, and you also have Tyreek Hill on the other side. Like, I think Tua's going to eat this. Yeah, you have I would say the 2 fastest wide receivers in football on the same team. Which, and look, I know people are like, "Oh, well, Tua can't throw deep." That's
doesn't need to.
Yeah, but it's also a lie. Like, if you don't think Tua can throw a deep ball, go watch the 2017 national championship game where he hit Devontae Smith in perfect
One of the
stride.
best deep balls I've ever seen.
It was beautiful. It was like, I watched that game, and it took me a minute to process. I was like, we just won. And that was like maybe that was like a Drew Brees like throw from at the time, like an 18-year-old. And I was like, this kid's legit. And I know injuries aside, but like, I think he's going to have a huge bounce back year. He's going to make the media be like, oh, okay, we were totally wrong. And if it wasn't for the Bills being in their division, I think Miami's probably like an 11-12 win team this year.
I agree.
Yeah. But we talked about AFC, NFC. this is my bread and butter. I'm a big Saints guy. I'm high on the Saints this year. I think defensively they have a top 3 defense. I think they have one of the best secondaries in the NFL with Lattimore, Paulson Adebo, Tyrann Matthews now in the mix, CJ Gardner Johnson. You add Marcus May from the Jets. Jameis Winston, I know you're a big FSU guy. Like, I think Jameis Winston wins comeback player of the year along with Michael Thomas. Like, who, and I know you just said you're big on the Eagles this year. Like, who do you have as far as like NFC goes?
My sleeper, like if I had to pick a sleeper, it would be the 49ers. I just, Kyle Shanahan's offense, Trey Lance, watched it last night. Trey Lance he's that guy, man. Like if you're looking for someone you don't want to draft, Justin Herbert or Josh Allen or Lamar in fantasy this year, I know fantasy football is getting ready to come up. Listen, bro, grab you Trey Lance. Grab you a Trey Lance in round 6, round 7. He's going to put up numbers. He's got a good deep ball. You know, the 49ers have the best left tackle with Trent Williams. Like, they're going to protect Trey Lance. They have an amazing run game. They have arguably 3 starting running backs. They got Debo. They drafted that guy from SMU who runs a 4.3 40. He's going to be a playmaker, even if he comes in here and there. You know, the defense is going to be good. You know, the 49ers in the playoffs, if they got to play Aaron Rodgers without Devontae Adams, because you know that Aaron Rodgers is going to get there, the 49ers are going to win again. It's just it's just going to happen, you know. And unfortunately, that NFC West is very similar to the AFC West, where you have the Rams returning Super Bowl champions, you know, Sean McVay, offensive guru, Aaron Donald, best player, Jalen Ramsey. Like, you can never count out the Cardinals. You know, if the Cardinals come and they're 4-3 and DeAndre Hopkins comes back and everyone's healthy, they're going to go on a run as well. And then you got the 49ers, who are always going to be there, whatever it is with the NFC. Like, even if the 49ers win 9 games, they get into the wild card, and guess what? They're going to Lambeau Field again. What's going to happen?
They're gonna win without scoring an offensive touchdown.
Win again, you know. And I like the Saints. I think the Saints are I'll give it to the Bucs, but I think the Saints are easily the second best team in that division. And maybe Tom Brady regresses. Maybe Tom Brady, I don't want to say he gets hurt, but if he gets hurt, the Saints are. Jameis Winston is not scared to throw the football. Jameis Winston is going to airmail the shit out of that football. He might not make the best decisions, but anybody can be lucky on any given day. And when you have, that rookie wide receiver that they got Michael Thomas, who's potentially healthy now. They got Alvin Kamara, and Jameis Winston easily could pass for 4,500 yards and nobody would bat an eye on it,
Oh, yeah. I think he's going to go off this year.
And
Chris Olave,
there.
Yeah, Chris Olave, Jarvis Landry is now your wide receiver room this year.
Landry's
you went from
beast too, and he's not even being relied to be potentially the 1 or 2.
No, if
Landry comes in, he's the 3rd option, and you got arguably one of top 3 best receiving running backs in the NFL with Alvin Kamara. Like, anything can happen. Like, anything can happen in the NFC. I don't think that the Bears are going to do shit. I don't think that the Lions are going to do anything. I think the Vikings, Justin Jefferson regresses. I don't think the Vikings are going to be there either. So other divisions are going to have people come into the playoffs, and the Saints, the Panthers aren't going to be it. I feel for Baker Mayfield. My gut says that Baker Mayfield's the starter. They win 2 games, they lose 5, and now the media is all over it as, was it smart to trade for Baker Mayfield? Does Sam Darnold get a chance to play? And, I think that Baker Mayfield is potentially going to dig his own grave or take that franchise to the next level. And it could be a coin flip either way. Does McCaffrey stay healthy? Does DJ Moore stay healthy? Does Baker make the right decisions? The NFC's wide open, man. Like, the Cowboys will be there. I think the Eagles, I'm high on the Eagles. I was high on Jalen Hurts last year. They get Brown. I like the Eagles. I like the Cowboys. I think the Giants are going to be terrible. I think Washington's going to be terrible. Like, Carson Wentz is not it. Danny Dimes is not it. Seattle, these are going to be the things. Like, Seattle's fight. Like, who's going to get these 2 quarterbacks that are coming out that are going to, we could potentially see, and if it's not this year, it'll be next year with the USC guy and Anthony Richardson from Florida if they stay up. But, these next 2 years in the NFL draft, unless there is a crazy defensive stud and something happens to where someone who already has a quarterback has the number 1 pick, we might see the Jared Goff, Carson Wentz for the next 2 years again, where it goes 1, 2 quarterbacks and we'll see what happens. But there's going to be some teams that are not ready to win, and we might get down to it where it's Seattle, it's potentially. It's hard to say the Giants and Washington because that division, like they just beat the crap out of each other like so much to where each person, those teams in the division could go 3-3 and not win another game on their schedule just because of the division rivals and stuff like that. But I like
No,
the 49ers.
yeah,
If I
yeah.
had to guess, they would be Rams, 49ers, and the Packers will be there, the Bucks will be there, the Saints could be there. But if I had to guess, I the more I talk about it, I think I'm more high on Trey Lance than I was an hour ago.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I didn't get I went to a concert last night. I didn't get a chance to watch the Niners game, so I watched the highlights. So, my biggest thing is like, did the Shanahan really want Trey Lance, or did John Lynch want Trey Lance,
I
and
think they
then they
all
went,
want him
yeah,
now.
yeah. From what it sounds like, yeah. So I'm excited to see. I preseason is just the biggest tease. Like, I'm just like, I kind of want it to be like college. Just be like, all right, week 1, we're here. Let's do this.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Yeah.
Zach Wilson potentially could be out for the season yesterday, trying to break a linebacker's ankle for an extra yard on a 3-yard run. Like, come on, bro. Like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we get an alert while we're on here that Jimmy Garoppolo is traded to the Jets. Like, it's just
Oh,
like, why would you? Why? The Chiefs are playing their starters the entire first quarter today. Like, why? Why in the hell would you play Patrick Mahomes? Like, it doesn't make any sense. But they're going to go ahead and they're going to do it. Like, it's just, some teams do it, some teams don't. I like the approach of what the Raiders are doing. Like, they're going to have a joint practice with the Patriots in like a week where it'll be the ones versus the ones in a private facility or private viewing. Kind of just like how the Bucks and the Dolphins did last week. Like, I think the Bucks and Dolphins play today. You won't see one person out there that but Tom Brady played against the Miami Dolphins ones, and Tua played against the Bucks ones earlier this week, and there was snippets of phone clips and stuff like that. And I think that's honestly the way to do it, where, you're not tearing an ACL trying to get a first down but you're going up against the competition that if you play in the regular season, that's who you're seeing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
it goes back to last year, like John Gruden and Sean McVay were boys. Like, there was that clip of Hunter Renfrow breaking Jalen Ramsey's ankles, but there was no contact after. There was no
Yeah.
tackling, but the starters were getting in the work. They were getting in the work in a controlled environment to where, yeah, injuries can still happen, but it's not like, Zach Wilson's trying to make a play, trying to get a first down while he rolls out. And guess what? Now, potentially, he's going to lose his star job for the year. They could bring in Jimmy Garoppolo and change the franchise. I'm not saying that they will, but,
Yeah.
and it's all retrospect to where what if, like, what if Zach Wilson didn't get hurt? Would Jimmy G potentially be a Jet? Would the Jets win the playoffs? Would go to the playoffs? Like, nobody knows now because Zach Wilson potentially is out for the season, and it's a
Tough.
shitty thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Like, we saw injuries last year. I mean, like, the Saints were 5-2, just beat the
Drake London
Bucks.
got hurt yesterday. Like,
Yeah.
the number one wide receiver off the draft catches a 27-yard, tries to extend the play, and he's got a knee injury. We don't know the update on that, but like, why would you do that? Like, I understand he's a rookie and needs the reps, but like, do it in a controlled environment, because now the guy that you spent your first round pick on potentially could be out,
Yeah, I mean, it's nuts because it's I mean, like, hopefully Drake London is okay. Like, I think I saw something last night where I was like, it was just a minor thing, it's just precautionary, but like, I think Zach Wilson's he's gonna miss significant time.
Eye-opening, man.
Yeah, and it's funny that you as we're talking right now, is apparently the Chiefs are trying to trade for Roquan Smith right now. Um, I I mean, that would I don't think that'll really help the Chiefs right now. But before we go, Toke, like I said, I love talking ball with you right now. If you're a big fantasy football guy like I am, give me some fantasy football. Give me some fantasy football sleepers to help you win this league this year. Like, I came in second last year, devastated. Right. Jonathan Taylor is the one who saved my season last year.
There you go.
But yeah, I know, right? But like, who should I be looking out for this year?
Well, I mean, it's just the way it rolls. Like, if you got the number one pick, the sure thing is Jonathan Taylor. But then you got to ask yourself, what running back in the last 5 decades was the best running back the year before that moved up to number 1 and put up the same amount of numbers. If
Derrick
I
Henry,
got the number
probably.
1 pick, are you rolling the dice with Christian McCaffrey again? Like these
No.
are things you need to be asking yourself. Cooper Kupp had the greatest wide receiver season we've ever seen. Cooper Kupp could regress and still be the number 1 wide receivers. Don't buy in on the Justin Jefferson hype. I mean, yeah, he might be number 1 he could still be number 2, but I don't know. Maybe look at, like I said earlier, like the Wild Wild West, man. The AFC West is going to be a shootout. Like, if you have the number 1 pick and Eckler's going 3rd, are you taking just the Jonathan Taylor hype, or are you breaking the barrier and potentially going with Austin Eckler, who could have 100 receiving or 100 receptions plus goal line targets plus rushing? But as far as sleepers, I am very high on Travis Etienne from Jacksonville. I think that the cliche of playing from Clemson, not playing his rookie year, you can get him in the 3rd round. I think he's going to be Trevor Lawrence's security blanket, and Doug Peterson's going to run him to the ground. But on top of that, Trevor Lawrence knows this guy. He won like they played together in college. Like, 3rd and 3, dump. 3rd and 2, dump. 2nd and 9, deep reads not open. You got Zay freaking Jones and Christian Kirk running routes. Like, how open are they going to get? Probably not that open. Are Jacksonville going to be winning any games where it's a late night ground game? Probably not. But you know what they do have? They have Travis Etienne, who can make plays. He's, in my opinion, shining in training camp. Like, if Travis Etienne can get 7 catches a game and carry the ball 13 times, he'll win you a fantasy championship all day. I'm big on Hunter Renfrow. You can get him in the 7th round. If they're going to double Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, and Hunter Renfrow are going to be the guys that Derek Carr is going to pass for 4,500 yards, whether you like it or not. He's going to pass for 4,500 plus yards. If you're on the train of saying, oh, Devontae Adams isn't going to do anything, he doesn't have Aaron Rodgers anymore, well, then you better look. If he's not going to do anything, you better look who's going to do something, because they're going to score points. I like Hunter Renfrow in the slot in the 7th round. I think Cooper Kupp is still going to be that guy. I like Cooper Kupp a lot. If you can get if you feel like you've got a good team and you can take DeAndre Hopkins in the 8th round, let's say you go Hunter Renfrow in the 7th, like you got your flex guy, comes back to you and DeAndre Hopkins is sitting there in the 8th and you're comfortable with your team, freaking take him. Put him on the bench for 6 weeks. He's going to come back healthy as an ox in the 7th week. He's going to get you 20 points a game. Like, Kyler Murray's going to feed him the football. Like, DeAndre Hopkins is there, and you're getting a potential. If he was not suspended, you're getting a wide receiver 5, wide receiver 6 in the 8th round. Take the bullet, take him. Who else are you going to draft in the 8th round? You going to draft Zay Jones, the guy I was just talking about that's not going to do anything? Take DeAndre Hopkins, put him on the bench. Don't reach on defense. You can get the Saints in the last round, just as you said. The defense is going to be phenomenal. Play defense week by week. You were saying how high you were high on the Chargers. I like the Chargers defense too, but when you've got to play the Chiefs twice and the Raiders twice and the Broncos twice and I believe they play the Rams and the Bills, like, they might be good defense, but a fantasy perspective, they're not going to really do anything. There's
Any
a couple
rookies?
other guys I really like too. Let me just look at this real quick. I like Allen Robinson. I think Allen Robinson finally, and I'm not a big Allen Robinson guy, but I like the hype. I like Alvin Robinson. I like Hollywood Brown from Arizona too. You can get him in like the 5th round. I'm not really high on many rookie wide receivers because we just don't know what they're going to do. After seeing Trey Burke in just one game, I don't want anything to do with him. It's hard. It's hard to decide. Is there going to be a rookie Justin Jefferson this year? Probably not. I don't think there will be. And if there is, it might be Olave. It's definitely not going to be the guy from the Jets.
Olave is tearing it up right now at camp. Like, he is. If Michael, so everything I've heard from Saints camp is Michael Thomas is back. Like, he is back to being fully healthy, like looking like shades of 2019 Michael Thomas. And then Chris Olave has arrived. Like apparently, like he bumped Jarvis Landry to 3. And I love Jarvis, and I think he's a solid veteran who is going to be a great, slot guy. But like apparently, like this kid is the real deal. So I'm probably going to reach a little higher for Olave than I probably should. Like I want to take Michael Thomas if he's there in the later rounds. Like I'm gonna get him. But
Take him,
like,
man.
yeah.
I like Gabriel Davis.
Ooh, okay.
And I like Gabriel Davis. I think you can't take any Patriot running backs. I don't think you can take any Raiders running backs this year, and you definitely can't take any Buffalo running backs this year. Just too much running back by committee. You don't know what's going to happen. If Stephon Diggs is that guy, if Josh Allen's going to be the MVP that everyone's talking about, then someone else has got to step in too. And if you can get Gabriel Davis in the 4th or 5th or 6th round, I like that. And I'm also high on Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. I wouldn't be opposed of getting both of them if you could. If you have the 10th pick or the 11th pick in the draft and Aaron Jones is sitting there and you take him and maybe come back on the turn and you get a wide receiver, I think we can all agree that they have Aaron Rodgers. The Packers are going to be there. They play in a weak division. Sorry if you're a fan of the other teams in that division. The Packers will be there. They will win games. They will score points. Aaron Rodgers will get his numbers. But I just feel that Aaron Jones is going to be that security blanket, just like Travis Etienne is. Like he's going to score. He's going to get passes. He's going to touch the football. AJ Dillon's going to get goal line targets. Like AJ Dillon put up crazy numbers last year. I think they're going to slow the game down. The Packers versus the way they were last year with Devontae Adams. I think they slow the game down. If you think the Packers win 13 games, then you think the second half is going to be a lot of AJ Dillon and a lot of Aaron Jones. So I'm high on them. Really high on DeAndre Hopkins, man. Like I said, if you can get him in the 7th or 8th round and stick him on your bench for 6 weeks, and let's just say you win 4 out of 6 and you're 4-2 and Hopkins all of a sudden is coming back, you've got a wide receiver 1, in my opinion, on your bench that you can now put into your lineup, and you compare that with whatever first 2 picks you got. You've got a 3-headed stallion that good luck. They're going to put up a lot of points.
No, I'm convinced on DeAndre Hopkins now because of you. So I'm 100% going to put him to the side.
Just right off the gate, like week 7, just looking into a 1 PPR league. Week 7 against the Saints, he's projected to get 18.2 points. Next week, Minnesota, 19.6 points. The week after that, Seattle, 20.5 points. And then it goes down the line. And, if he can get there, week 16, you got Cardinals versus Bucks. And if you get to that Super Bowl of fantasy football, you got Cardinals versus Bucks in a potential win, and you're in the playoffs for the Cardinals. I think having DeAndre Hopkins in your lineup is something that could be astronomical, especially getting him that late in the draft. So
boom.
We'll see. I think I don't know. I'm high on Trey Lance too. So get you a Trey Lance. Trey backup.
Trey Lance and Hopkins. I when I draft my fantasy team, I'll have to DM me and be like, all right, this is because of you, by the way. So
some people aren't, but Trey Lance isn't even going. Like, I'm depending on the leagues you got. Like, you can get Trey Lance in like the 11th round. Like, everyone's jumping on these quarterbacks. You got the 7 quarterbacks that go, and then you have the philosophy of I'll just take the Kirk Cousins, the Derek Carr, the Matthew Stafford that's left at the end. But, Trey Lance is sitting there too. Like, I don't know. Maybe his draft goes up after preseason. But right now he seems pretty good. I don't want nothing to do with Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't want it, even though he 2 years ago was a top 10 fantasy player. I mean, potentially he could do that again easily, but I don't want it. I don't, and someone's got to score for the Chiefs. I'm not convinced that it's going to be Juju. And, Kelsey's going to get his, but he's also now going to be double teamed every single play. So I think he regresses as well. Mark Andrews the same way. Like, he's going to be double teamed every single play. So now you're looking at your 2 best tight ends that are, and I'm not saying that they're not going to put up numbers, but I'm also saying that they're putting up numbers maybe a little bit harder than normal.
Oh yeah, like I think tight end wise this year, like I'm looking more at like Kittle, Waller. I think Dallas Goddard's going to get his at Philly.
I like Knox from Buffalo.
Yeah, but I like the OJ Howard signing that they got. he got underutilized in Tampa Bay. Huge athletic freak. That I think he's gonna definitely get some in Buffalo. I'm trying to think of like I do like Zach Ertz at Arizona. I
I was
think
just
that's
gonna
gonna be a
say
good
you
one.
could do
Yeah, yeah,
the draft and pump and dump scheme with Ertz. No
yeah.
Hopkins for 7 weeks. Ertz is gonna be that guy. Hollywood Brown's gonna be there. Get you an Ertz. Have him rack in those fantasy points for 5 weeks and just find someone to trade him. Trade him a week before Hopkins comes back. Pick up whatever hot tight end. Dawson Knox is most likely going to be on the waiver wires. Injuries always happen, and you could unload Ertz for a potential slot 2 guy and move on and watch. Let them buy the hype. I think Ertz will be a good first 5-week player. Travis Etienne, I'm saying it right now. Jaguars or not, Travis Etienne, you get him as your running back too, you will win fantasy football. He is going to be that guy. I think every week you're going to look at your lineup in a PPR standard. And the first week it's going to be like 12 or 13. He's going to be the Austin Eckler when everyone learned who Austin Eckler was. He's going to be 13 points week 1. He's going to kill it. Second week, he's going to be 15 points. And by week, he's the James Conner. He's the Austin Eckler. And James Conner's another guy that you potentially touchdown James Conner. If you can get him later, grab him. I think Travis Etienne wins you your fantasy league. And I think you pair that with DeAndre Hopkins in the late rounds and potentially, if you go running back, and you've got Hunter Renfrow, Gabriel Davis, and DeAndre Hopkins on the bench, I think you're set to go.
All right, boom. I just won my fantasy league right there. So,
hey man,
yeah.
I be winning. It's not always the prettiest pick. It's if you're gonna go Jonathan Taylor number 1 and McCaffrey number 2, you better be prepared for sadness if something happens.
Oh no, look, I got my first year ever playing fantasy football. I didn't really know how it worked, so I literally just picked like Saints players. I was like, oh, like Marcus Colston, like Reggie Bush, Drew Brees. Like I'll just get those guys, and then I realized that's not how the game works. So like I have no. I will draft Falcons players. I will draft Panthers players. Like I just want to win. So like there's
Sell
no
the
love
hype.
lost. Yeah. So
It's like any business model. Like sell the hype and what is the next big thing? And for me this year, the next big thing is Austin Eckler. Like I just every year it's who's going to be the guy next year that they're talking is the number 1 pick. Jonathan Taylor was the 10th overall pick last year. You know what I'm saying? Like this year he's number 1. Last year it was McCaffrey. The year before that was Saquon Barkley. Like none of these guys ever come back and do it again, especially at the running back position. So
I'm right there with you. Like I haven't got my draft pick yet. If I
got
can,
number 4 in my big. I'm in a real big money league with a bunch of my friends. I got the 4th pick.
Are you going Eckler at 4?
I'm hoping it's a live draft. This is like my bread and butter with the live drafts. We're at a bar, everyone's drinking, nobody's paying attention after the 3rd round, nobody's crossing off, and then I come in and I get this guy and I get that guy, and then you get half the people going, wait, he's already picked, and I'm like, no, he's not, and then bang,
just taking advantage. Boom, love to see it. Well,
yeah,
look, man, I love talking ball with you. Love talking fantasy with you. Is there anything you want to plug? Like I said, like go follow this man on YouTube. Like his content is phenomenal. Rather you're Call of Duty, rather you're Madden, 2K, the show. Like I don't even play the show and I still watch the videos because I'm just like it's just good content, man.
No, I don't have anything to plug, man. Just hope everyone has a successful fantasy year and just try to be better than you were yesterday. I'm excited, dude. My kids go back to school on Monday, so
I know you're ready for that.
I'm ready to get back to work and play some Madden, watch some football, do some fantasy. Like I said, thanks for having me, man. I love talking football. I wouldn't mind coming back in week 8 and you can re-listen to this and you can fact check me and
let's do that.
We'll see where we're at from now and in week 8. I'm telling you, I'm gonna be right, bro. If you're a gambling man, Raiders over 8.5 wins is free money. Do it.
It is.
I don't care if you're a Broncos fan or a Chiefs fan or a Chargers fan. Raiders over 8.5 wins is free money.
Boom, I'm circling it right now. Week 8, we're gonna come back, have Toke on, and we're gonna fact check. Like we're just gonna be like, how's Austin Eckler doing? How the Raiders doing? How the Broncos doing? How the Saints doing? We got it.
I'm in. That'll give me 1 week for DeAndre Hopkins off suspension.
Oh, he's gonna come back and he's just gonna light up the Saints, and we'll be like, well, Toke was right.
Yep, you'll remember that day.
All right. Well, man, I appreciate having you on. You've been fantastic.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.